The math is mathing too much.
I've been watching it for the last like 8 hours.
I even tried to start rereading Akamov, but she's like down bad. And it still has the receipt in it, 2022.
This book has just been so unpredictable. Okay, now I'm binging this.
Hi besties and welcome back. So this is such an exciting video because we are just going to be mood reading, which that is my favorite thing to do because I feel like I'm just so much more passionate about reading when I'm just reading strictly whatever I want to read. So let's hop in and get mood reading. Hi guys, so first up we are going to be reading Heartless Hunter by, I don't know, the Crimson Moth series. I think book 2 comes out soon, and I've had this downloaded on my Kindle for a long time, but I am finally now starting it. I'm 50 pages through and I'm so hooked. Honestly, I didn't update sooner because I just finished my Fourth Wing Iron Flame Onyx Storm reads and rereads, and I kind of felt slumpy after I tried to continue Us Against You by Frederick Bachman, the second to Beartown, but I just couldn't get into it, and I've been really struggling to get into that, and I just feel like I haven't been in the mood for it. So I'm just gonna pause that book for as long as I can until I'm in the mood for it, because Beartown is such a 5-star, so I don't want to do the book a disfavor in doing that. So I was kind of feeling slumpy, but then I picked this book up and it hooked me from the first page. So it's safe to say I am excited to continue this today. I haven't read it all, but I have been thinking about this book and how I want to pick it up. So I really am in the mood to binge tonight. That's kind of creepy. I don't know how to change this. I tried and couldn't figure it out. I'm going into this so blind. I know that it's about witches, and in this world, if you're a witch, you're getting murdered, basically. So since I didn't read the premise, I don't know like what's known, but basically, I think it's going to be an enemies to lovers because that is the 2 perspectives we're getting. So far it's dual POV. I don't know if it goes more than that to multi, but so far it's dual, and I'm really enjoying it. So we have got a few of these like little quotes at the top, and they kind of describe a spell, and I'm just liking that because we can learn what that is. And so far this has been super easy to understand, and there's just so much lore being dropped about the characters, but like you still don't know. So I really like how this book is set up. Like it's my favorite thing in fantasy books where you just are sucked right into the story and you figure out things as you go. Like especially, it's just fresh in my mind. Fourth Wing, it does a really good job of this, and this is doing a great job of this too. Let me look up when the second one comes out because February 20th. Okay, so we got a ways, but I'm definitely still gonna keep going. But yeah, I don't know what else I'll get up to after this. I've been filming a continuing series for so long, but both of the books I was reading kind of slumped me out, so we'll see. I also have not been in the mood to read anything other than fantasy, so this might turn into a fantasy reading vlog. We will see. I'm gonna continue this because it is eating. Hi guys. Okay, so I haven't updated again, but I made it to page 100, which I do not understand how I'm this far into the book. Like I feel like I've read it for 35 pages, so the pacing is just like very fast paced. The chapters are really short, so I'm liking that because I'm just like zooming through. Like it says I'm 25%, which I feel like we are still on like chapter 3, so it's definitely weird how like fast it's going, because to me I have not read 100 pages. Like it feels like I've read 30 pages, but where we're at now we are just getting a past perspective, which this is the first one, so I'm intrigued to see what this is all about and if we're going to get more. So yeah, I'm enjoying this so far. There is just a lot of different things going on that we need to figure out, and like we know certain facts, but we don't know like the details about what goes on or what has gone on. So I'm intrigued to keep reading, so maybe I can finish this today since it's so fast. I don't know. I just read the premise of this book just to make sure what I am gonna say isn't spoiler, but so basically our main girl Rune, so she is a witch and her grandma was also a witch, and something happens, and long story short, she has to turn her grandma in for being a witch. Her grandmother gets taken and then for being a witch, and then fast forward 2 years from then, Rune is now someone who helps the witches who are supposed to be escape. So she is called the Crimson Moth, and basically I think it's like a enemies to lovers type story with someone who tries to the witches. So that is kind of where we're at now. I'm just waiting to like learn the details of that, because like I said in the last clip, we know that she does that and is a witch, but we haven't seen any like execution of her helping other people, just little tidbits. So I fear I'm gonna be obsessed with this because the romance is so like, he's so acts of service, and that's just what I eat up. Like, you're telling me he's supposed to be figuring out if she's the Crimson Moth, but yet he is making her all this stuff by hand. Okay, I'm 41% now, and something crazy just happened. Like, I was not expecting this early on, so I'm hooked. Bestie is so smart. Like, I was like, how is she gonna get out of this one? Nope, so simple to her. But me, I'm like...
This chapter we're getting more about Gideon, the main guy, and he has a past. Oh my goodness, this is crazy.
Okay, I'm 61%. I'm kind of sus of someone. I just feel like there's more to the character than what we're being shown. This took a turn. Oh.
That also didn't go how I was expecting. Whoa. Guys, I feel like my theory is solid. Okay, now I'm binging this.
What? Whoa, 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 whoa. I'm eating my leftover shake and like eating this book up too. No way. Oh my gosh. What? Oh my gosh, it is right in front of my face. Like, I need to see how this plays out. My theory has to be right. The math is mathing too much. This is crazy. What the hell is going on? Oh yeah, I can't put you here. My tripod's broken. Alright, this'll do it. I'm sorry. No.
This book has just been so unpredictable. I love it. I was right. Anyone but these two. It's always the short chapters that are the bad ones, like the traumatizing ones. You know, I almost filmed a clip of me being like, I love this character, and now I'm like...
Hello friends. What is... A little update. So last night I ended up finishing Heartless Hunter. I gave it 4.25, but I think I might drop it down to a 4 because I really haven't thought about it since. But when I was reading it, it was very enjoyable. And like I said multiple times, it was super fast paced. So that's why I didn't like update much, because I literally felt like I read it for like a half hour. Does it show you on Kindle how much time you like actually read it for? Okay, I don't know, but I feel like I read it for like 2 hours, which I know it was more than that, but it was just crazy fast. So yeah, it was very enjoyable, and there was a lot of kind of twists and reveals that kept you going. I did guess like the main one, well, like part of it. It was still great. I did start my next read last night because I was just in a reading mood. And so this is a book series that I read. I read the first book probably 3 years ago, Nevernight by J. Kristoff. And this is like one of the only fantasy books by a man I've read. And it was really good. It was very like dark, gory, kind of gothic vibe. So yeah, and I never continued the series. Well, I tried. I got like 20 pages into the second one, also like 2-3 years ago. So I kind of been thinking about it lately. So I think I'm going to try and continue that because the book is literally like 400 pages. Yeah, I'm just restarting it because I didn't remember what happened, but I am remembering the first 2 chapters. So I'm just gonna skim until I get to new stuff and just refresh my memory. There is like a kind of character list glossary at the beginning, but it is like 10 pages long. So I started it, but I couldn't. So I think once I catch up to the place I'm at, if I am confused at all, I'm going to look up a summary. But right now I feel pretty good with where the story's going. So I feel like it's weird that I don't have an audiobook going. I do have Audible for the rest of the month, which I didn't know that they had like free ones on there that don't need a credit, so I might pick one of those just to use my free trial up. But on Libby, I'm out of Spotify hours like always, so we can't check Spotify. But I have the second Lightlark book, Nightbane, and then I have Mistletoe and Mr. Right, which is due in 3 days. So not sure about either of those. They're both due soon-ish, so maybe I'll look for something else too, because none of those really are calling out to me. Okay, I literally have not read the synopsis for this book, God's Grapes. I have no clue what it's about, but our main girl, she has just put herself in a very dangerous situation that is completely voluntary by her, and I'm intrigued to see where it's gonna go and like what her goal is, because we've just been told like what she's doing, not the why. I'm intrigued to see. We're also getting some flashbacks to a couple months prior, so I'm intrigued to see how those are gonna meet up. On page 34, okay, my Kindle's doing this thing. You see that? I don't know how to fix that. In the last book I read too, it also just said like I or whatever, so I don't know. The perspective this is told from is very interesting. So one second it says Mia smiled, which is the main girl, and then the next it says the girls stepped up to meet them. It just switches. Kind of. I'm like 10% into God's Grave, and I'm having a hard time getting like sucked into it because it's just like an intense fantasy world. So my Kindle Unlimited expired, and then I got it again, so it deleted my books out of my library. So I'm gonna figure that out and then get back to you. I re-downloaded them and it synced my progress. I'm just kind of gonna go through my library and see what's sticking. Maybe I want a romance. I really want to read Sarah Adams' new book, but I don't have it yet, and I've kind of been waiting until Target has like buy two get one or BOGO 50. We'll see. I'm gonna browse around. Okay, I am now continuing 5 Total Strangers. I started this a while ago and only read a few chapters. I do also have the physical book, but like I'm gonna choose the Kindle. So this is about 5 total strangers who they meet in the airport after a big storm like cancels all flights, and one of the girls in the group is like, I'm gonna rent a car and we can all drive through the storm and I can drop you all off, whatever. So they all get in this car. They don't know each other and they're gonna drive to wherever, and it's like hundreds of miles away, and it's like very bad weather, and it's like a thriller book, I think. So I don't know like where the thriller part comes in, but for someone who's one of my like least favorite things and like fears, it's not really like a fear, but it's just like anxiety inducing, is driving in the snow. So I think I'm reading this at a great time because there's no snow forecasted in the near future for me, but like it's still winter out, you know, so it's a good time because this is obviously a winter book. So I'm 22% now and it's really going good, so I'm intrigued to see how it goes and I guess what like the big mystery thing is. There's like one thing we got, like a little tiny weird thing that happened, but with how it ended off, it's like it could be done and we could not get more of it, but like it was brought up, so I'm like, okay. We're also getting these, well, we've only had like 2, but there's these like letters to our main girl, and we don't know who they're from, but they're like kind of weird. I do have a thought on who it could be, but I don't know if it's like too obvious, but we'll see. They just got in a bad situation. 26%.
Are you the happiest boy ever? The happiest boy? Oh my goodness. Down, yeah. Look how fun we are. Yeah, we're being so cuddly.
okay guys, so I am like 50% through now, and literally I'm kind of obsessed with everybody. I definitely don't really have like a main theory as to what's going on because there's just still so much to uncover. Okay guys, it is the next day now. I made it to 63%, which is like where I stopped last time. I am like really enjoying this. I don't really have any theories. I mean, I know kind of like who's the sussest out of them all, but I don't have any theories of as to what's going on really. I have like some inklings, but not like full-blown theories. So I'm enjoying that, how it's really keeping me on my toes. There has been a lot of weird shit that has happened in this book that I wasn't expecting it to go that way. I do though, one little like note, which I could just be dumb, but I don't really know, like, I guess where they're at and like how far the drive is supposed to be. Like, I know they got to this one airport and they're driving back to they're driving back somewhere. I don't know, like, you know, how long this is supposed to normally take, which it could have been mentioned, but I could have missed it. I don't know, like, how far into the drive we are. I mean, obviously there's a percent to the book. I don't know if it ends at their houses or what. Yeah, all these characters definitely just have their own thing going on, and they're all very different, and it's just interesting to see that all unravel, because there is a lot to unravel. So I'm hopefully gonna finish this today. It's so fast-paced. I'm really enjoying it so far. But as for my next read, I have no clue what I'm in the mood for. We did get a new book club book for the month of February, which is The Crash by Frida McFadden, which came out today. So maybe I'll start that, but I think it's like literally like the same plot kind of this book I'm reading, like snowed in vibe. We'll see what I'm in the mood for. I have no clue. Hi. No, I don't have a reading update. I just have a little tangent and then we'll get to the reading. So I have been binging Night Agent season 2 all day, and I am on episode 9 out of 10. And I had full plans to just sit here, binge it for the rest of the night. But then my computer told me I need to update it to continue watching Netflix, basically. But like, I've been watching it for the last like 8 hours, so I'm not really sure why. So with that being said, I think I'm gonna read now. Maybe. But the thing with my brain is, when I have something in my head, I have to do it, and that right now is The Night Agent. But like, if I had reading in my head, which that was the plan today, to finish this book, now I can't stop watching this show. Maybe I'll get sucked in, but my brain just is like, I need to know what's gonna happen. That's my little tangent for the hour. Okay, I'm 93% through the book, and we got like the what's been going on. So I guess we still have more to go than I thought, and I don't really know how this is gonna end, because setting wise I have a long ways to go still. So we will see what goes down. It's definitely kind of weird. This just doesn't make sense. Okay, now all of a sudden we're like out of this situation. Like, what? This I feel like happens with thrillers sometimes, where like you get to the reveals and everything's crazy, and the next page they're like somewhere else, everything's fine. I'm like, y'all are in the most like massive blizzard ever. How is that realistic? Well, I finished it. I just feel like the ending literally took a grand total of 10 pages, and there was like not much closure at the ending at all. I just started my next read, which is Heartless by Marissa Meyer. I read the Lunar Chronicles throughout 2024 and I loved it, so I've been wanting to pick this one up. I've had it on my physical TBR for 2-3 years, so I'm finally doing it. It's Kindle Unlimited, but I am just 14 pages in, and so far it's just giving the vibes of like cozy fantasy romance. I don't really know if there's much like political stuff going on, but after reading the Lunar Chronicles, maybe there will be. Where we're at now, she is getting ready for like a ball or something. I don't know, but she is aspiring to be like a baker and have her own shop, which is super cute. And I feel like I'm just in the mood for like a fairy tale book. But yeah, so far it's kind of confusing on who's who, because there's like 4 different main characters in this scene, and I'm a little confused on like who's who and what they are to her. But other than that, it's going good. I'm liking it. I just had to pop in because I just pulled the physical copy out and it still has the receipt in it, so we are gonna see when I bought this book. I just opened it up and it's not the Barnes I thought I bought it at. I thought I got it at half price actually. So do you think this coupon's still valid? September 1st 2022 I bought this book. Yeah, we're gonna read this finally over 2.5 years later. I really thought I got this at half price. This is kind of crazy. How much was it? What else did I buy? Oh, I also got these Hollow Vows with this. Haven't read that either. I just love her books. Always just have like cute details. Like, it's just such a pretty book. I really hope I really enjoy this. Yeah, I literally think like it's just like a romantasy. Like, there's not much politics going on, which I feel like I could be down for that right now. So I'm gonna read a bit more and then we'll yap later. Okay, I'm on page 88 of Heartless, and it's looking kind of really boring. Like, not much is going on, and I don't know if the plot really picks up, but the main thing is that she's supposed to be marrying the king, and first of all, he's 15 years older than her, and like, they don't like each other like that. She's really trying to open her bakery, which is cute, but I feel like I don't really know if I'm in the mood for like a cozy fantasy book. I feel like I'm in the mood for something like more gripping and like higher stakes. But yeah, I'm gonna keep going for a bit more, and then maybe we will switch gears. I don't know. I just went to start Blood of Hercules, and it's a dark romance? What? No! Because I think I might DNF Heartless. It is just so boring. So now I'm just looking through my library to see what else I want to read. I hate feeling like this where you don't know what to read and like nothing's hitting. Okay guys, it is Monday now, so technically this video is over, but I want to finish one more book for it. So I started Daughter of No Worlds this morning on Audible because it is free. Like, you don't have to use a credit. I'm not sure how much percent because Audible like doesn't show you, or maybe it does and I just don't know how to see. I'm actually enjoying it so far. I'm not like super sucked into the world yet, but I am really enjoying it. So basically our main girl, she was basically sold to be a slave when she was like 13, I think, and it's like 8 years later now. She's 21 now, and she finally has saved up enough money to buy her freedom, so that's what she's doing. I don't really know what the plot is other than that, and that's how I like going into fantasy books. So yeah, I think I'm like 25% through Heartless. I was gonna DNF it, but I kind of just kept reading, and it still's very slow pace and just not high stakes, but I think I'm gonna keep reading it, just maybe slower. So I'm not sure if I'll finish it here, but maybe I'll finish one of it. I don't know, or both, who knows. That is what we're doing now. I was gonna start Blood of Hercules, is it? Because I wanted like a high stakes fantasy, but it says it's a dark romance. Wasn't really in the mood for that, and I need to look into that more. Guys, it has been a couple of days. I just got into a really big slump for a couple of days, and it wasn't just like I was busy and couldn't read. I had time to read and I could not get into anything. So I started like probably like 10 different books. So I'm just gonna tell you guys what ones. I started The Bribe by Devney Perry. I started City of Gods and Monsters. I started Daughter of No Worlds and actually got 25% through on Audible. Don't really remember anything that happened and was very kind of spaced out during it. I also read a little bit more of Heartless. My Libby hold came through, so I'm gonna listen to the rest of it, I think, because I am like 35% through and I do want to see what happens to the characters, but it is just so boring. And then I even tried to start rereading Asimov, which this is like one of my favorite books of all time, but I couldn't even get into that, which that is very telling. I just didn't think I was in the mood for Tamlin, so I just stopped last night. So my book club book for February with my friends is The Crash by Frida McFadden, and one of my friends was texting us like, oh my gosh, this is getting so good, I'm almost done with the book, it's so fast paced. So then I pushed through and read a couple more chapters, and then I got super into it, so now I'm 21% through of that, and I really want to finish it today because it was going like so fast. Like, I felt like I was zooming once I got into it more, but it just took me a while to get into because the first part of it, so in this book she's pregnant, and personally I am not one who really wants kids in my life as of right now, or I just don't have an interest in pregnancy and having kids and all of that at all in my life right now, and maybe not ever. So I was kind of struggling to get through that because I'm like, I just don't want this for myself, but I pushed through that part. Where we're at now, it's pretty good. So I'm going to listen to Heartless some more now because I have some audiobook tasks, and then maybe later tonight we will continue with The Crash, which last night I read it before bed and I was really freaked out last night because I was just like, oh my gosh, this is not good. Also, she drives the same type of car as me, so that's great because hello, it's called The Crash. And today it's kind of supposed to be crappy out, like snow, freezing rain, all that. So this is going to be an interesting time to read because it's going to be relatable. Safe to say I'm not leaving the house. I won't be worrying about my car doing what hers did. Anyways, I'm gonna listen. I'll be back. As for Heartless though, I was just gonna start listening. I'm like, wait, I should like maybe tell you guys what's going on. So I am on 34% chapter 162, and It's an Alice in Wonderland, like, loose retelling, like her books usually are retellings. And personally, that wasn't my, like, favorite fairy tale as a kid. I didn't, you know, it's not one I know super well, but, like, I feel like I know enough. But this book has been kind of confusing so far because a lot of the characters are, like, animals and stuff, which that's so fun, but I'm just having a hard time picturing that and kind of understanding how that works. But that's probably because of my lack of knowledge with Alice in Wonderland. So our main girl, Charlotte, Catherine, yeah. The king wants to be engaged to her, but she does not want to be engaged to him because, first of all, she's 15 years younger than him, and they don't have that spark, you know, like they're nice to each other, they're friendly, but they don't have that spark. And so the new kingdom's, like, jester joker guy, he, like, does magic tricks and all that, he comes in, and why do I keep wanting to call her Scarlet? Wrong series, babe. Catherine is, like, obsessed with him. And I'm really liking that aspect of this book because a lot of times in, like, romance books or fantasy books or just any book, they don't, like, admit that they're, like, obsessed with someone or, like, crushing on them. They're just kind of like, they just brush it under the rug and, like, don't admit to their feelings. But she's, like, down bad, and, like, she outrightly thinks it and just acts like it. And I'm liking that, and I think I'm really gonna like the romance. There's a lot of good quotes in here. Like, you know, you can sometimes see, like, the 287 people highlighted. Those, every time I see one of those, I know it's about to eat. So I'm gonna keep listening. I feel like I definitely will be more into it as an audiobook just because since it is more mundane, I can, like, space out a bit and it'll be fine. All that being said, I'm gonna get listening. So throughout this book, wait, what percent am I? I'm, like, almost 50% through Heartless, and throughout this book there's been, like, a slight mystery thing, and I think I have a theory of what's been going down. There's just too many hints pointing at someone. I definitely am enjoying the audiobook more than the physical. Okay, I am 32% through The Crash. We just got to, like, part 2 and the POV just switched, which is really interesting because I didn't think it would. So yeah, I'm kind of nervous to keep going, but also excited. And then Heartless, I haven't listened to anymore, but I definitely am really enjoying the audiobook more. I'm gonna keep listening to that whenever I have the chance. All of y'all sus. Okay, this is good. Okay, I don't know if this is real or not, but if it's real, it's gonna be crazy. So. I don't really have any predictions. I mean, like, kind of, but they involve other people, and, like, I don't know how that'd be possible. You know, it's kind of hinted at, but I don't know. Now I have formed a new theory. This is me every, like, 10 pages with a thriller book. This is the thing with some plot twists. Like, there's stuff that makes it make sense, but, like, we could have been dropping more hints. I don't know. Maybe at the beginning there was more, but this feels slightly random. Why is this making me look so pale? Alright guys, you know what time it is, the time where we yap about the books I finished. So, first up, Heartless Hunter by Kristen... ? I gave this book 4.25 when I first finished it, but I think I'm gonna lower it to a 4 because honestly I just haven't really thought about it since. But this was just such a fast-paced read. I genuinely don't even remember reading it for, like, more than a couple hours, but I obviously did. It just went so fast, I could not put it down, and so good. Incredible. I loved the characters and the romance. There was a lot of good, like, mystery stuff going on, and I didn't expect where the story was going at all, and I love being caught off guard. Solid 4-star book. And then I read 5 Total Strangers by Natalie D. Richards. This book, this is one of those where, you know those TikToks where it's like reread, rewrite, or burn, is it burn it? This one I would rewrite. We knew kind of what was happening with the ending, like what was going on throughout the book, but we didn't know, like, the who. And I just think that it would have been a lot better if there wouldn't have been so much revealed through these, like, little letters throughout. Like, these kind of just revealed everything that had been happening that was sus, and I just think it would have been so much better if we would have been caught off guard and got it presented differently and like different type of hints about who done it. I give this 2.5. It was definitely kind of boring too and mundane. Like, obviously it's set in a car. I just didn't really like care. And then kind of the same thing with The Crash by Frida McFadden. This just, it kind of fell flat for me, and like I talked about, I just couldn't really connect to the main girl, and there were a lot of points where I'm like, okay, like let's go. This is just very mundane, and like they're in the same situation, the same thing keeps happening. The ending did go kind of crazy. It wasn't one of those where I was like so invested that I was so shook. Since I wasn't really that invested, it was like, okay, that's cool, you know. So I give this one 3, I think, because I did enjoy Frida's writing and just how she set up the book. So those are the books that we read today. So if you liked this and if you've read any of these, let me know, and I will see you guys next week. Peace.